And it's been a hot minute since we've talked about Gamergate 2 or something like that. I don't know, I think I had a gaming video go up a couple of days ago, but in regards to the more fresh information that's out there, well, we have all these consultancy firms, and they used to act just a few months ago far more covert, but now, because all the fire underneath of them has made them go overt, we have seen, just their terrible practices at mass scale, and frankly, they're as dumb as we thought they always were. Speaking of which, first and foremost, we have Black Girl Gamers. We talked about them, I think a week ago or a couple of weeks ago. They were getting a little bit avarice in regards to That Park Place. That Park Place wrote an article about them and just their odd practicing. Okay, as you know, the company, the Black Girl Gamers, who do you think they're catering to? Well, exactly. They did a big write-up about the fact that, they only want to cater to a certain specific racial and sexual demographic, and okay, whatever, here's the rest of their stupid things that they done. They did a bunch of consulting work on Forspoken, 2023's Game of the Year for some people, I guess. And well, they aren't necessarily good at their job, and in light of Sweet Baby Inc.'s very public imploding, they are another company that are cut from the same cloth, and we didn't know how close to the bone that cut would be, and well, they were very happy to take this to another level by starting to issue cease and desists for simply talking about the That Park Place article, and the fact that there is, really nothing objectionable, nothing that you could take down. They're trying to say that it's incredibly defamatory to just simply share that article, the one that they show their own practices in action. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, so this is from a very serious law firm, MCO, okay, Morris, Curran and O'Keefe, located in Virginia, because obviously, right, sent to John F. Trent, the author, I think he's the EOC, or the EIC rather, sorry, at That Park Place. He wrote the article about Black Girl Gamers, their practices, their odd hiring practices, where, you could interpret them by violating the civil rights law, given the fact that you are purposefully discriminating in your hiring practices. John just pointed out the apparent violation, didn't accuse you of anything other than, you only hire black women. That, on its face, is discriminatory, and then he just moved right on. But that's an affront to Black Girl Gamers, where it's like, can you not look in the mirror? But anyways, dear Mr. Trent, please be advised that our firm has been retained by Ms. J. Ann Lopez, CEO of Black Girl Gamers, hereinafter referred to as BGG. Thank you. As you know, Ms. Lopez and BGG are well known in the gaming community. Oh yes, too well known, in fact. Our firm has been retained because Ms. Lopez observed a series of unwarranted and defamatory attacks against her character and reputation made by you and various online commenters who follow or share your views. These false, unwarranted, and defamatory attacks are also directed at BGG. Additionally, Ms. Lopez observed that you have publicly used her name, image, and likeness without her prior authorization on your website, That Park Place. We demand that you immediately cease and desist for posting or displaying any videos and or comments about Ms. Lopez and Black Girl Gamers. We demand that by April 5th, 2024, you remove any and all links and references to videos, YouTube, or Twitch that comments upon or visually depicts Ms. Lopez and or the BGG brand. Video commentary and comments posted online that attack Ms. Lopez's moral character and accuse her and BGG of engaging in unlawful and discriminatory hiring or retention practices are hurtful, baseless, and defamatory. You're not even pointing to anyone specifically. I don't think that it's prudent to, read the rest of this stuff. It's just simply, stop doing this. It's really bad, and we don't like it at all. And, well, John F. Trent's law firm that he has retained on this one, Dillon Law Group, Harmeet Dillon, and specifically Ron Coleman, who wrote up the brief rejoinder. Dear Mr. Morris, we represent That Park Place, its principals and employees, and we write in response to yours of March 27th, 2024. We have reviewed your demands and, on consideration, find them both meritless and ridiculous. For these reasons, your demands are rejected in whole, and we consider that matter closed. Please direct any further inquiries, as may be necessary, to the undersigned by email. Yours very truly, Ronald D. Coleman. And that's not a guy that I would necessarily want to cross. He is very well versed in the law, and apparently you aren't. But you're sticking up for the black girl gamers, and that is a far and away a much more noble cause than, I don't know, getting the law right. But like we talked about before, and I've pulled up this list, it's not just Sweet Baby Inc. It's not just black girl gamers. It is a whole list of companies that are doing what they're doing, ruining the video game industry. And here we have a specific set of examples and specific positions that may not be affiliated with any one of those specific consultancy groups, but they're a big reason as to why these companies get infiltrated and become ideological echo chambers. So, more ex-developers come forth about Sweet Baby Inc. project South of Midnight by Compulsion Games. The community manager, keep that in mind, is still protected after saying she hates gamers and has a problem with Asians and white people. That's kind of crazy. Main character was race swapped in order to better reflect a tale that is set in the Deep South after Microsoft. We talked about them before, and they're interesting. They're interesting policies moving forward. Go check out that video if you are so inclined, and SBI's involvement. The team that created and their past celebrated title, We Happy Few. I remember that game. It seemed very interesting. Its art style, it was really over the top, very surrealist, kind of looking like puppets. I remember that game being announced. It was at an E3 back when I used to watch those. Well, back when E3 was a thing. Yeah, it was a Microsoft exclusive. Yeah, no, that's interesting. Okay, so they were the ones who put that out. Is mostly gone. Yeah, it's kind of like a bunch of these other places. Since like we talked about BioWare before, you know, the guys that worked on the Mass Effect trilogy, the first couple of Dragon Ages, Knights of the Old Republic. They ain't there anymore. BioWare is just simply a name. It is a skin suit for a bunch of ideologues to wear around and parade. Naughty Dog, Rare, the list goes on and on. All of these companies that made great stuff aren't those same companies anymore. Leaving after being disillusioned about changes made by Xbox, Microsoft, and SPI's involvement, studio politics, and more. Less than 10% of the original We Happy Few team remains. That's kind of crazy. Promotion of non-qualified staff to lead and management positions resulted in a mess of a project. No idea how to make a game, but I bet you they have a more than a good idea as to how to insert politics in the modern day. The development team is mostly entirely white and based in Montreal. Why is it always French Canada? Jesus. Anyways, and many devs felt uncomfortable creating a game in the Deep South with so little experience in the area. Oh my god, yeah, just talk about, hey, we got that cheese and wine simulator. SBI and POC writer were brought on board to help with a more authentic perspective. Yeah, exactly. Authentic. It's just so weird because you're going to have this Deep South idea. This is your setting. This is the story that you want to tell, but you have no idea how to tell it. A weird approach with the story, but okay. And then you're going to bring in somebody with a metropolitan idea about how the Deep South was. So, oh great, it's just going to be modern dayisms and, hey guys, slavery was bad. We got it. Gamer-hating community manager Pika Chalita, I don't care, is cited on one of the many incompetent staff promoted or hired into senior positions who does not actually work. Wow, big shock. A quick glance at the company page she manages, Compulsion Games, reveals virtually no info about the game and consists of endless retweets of DEI-related matters and promotions about other games and companies. Dev paints a picture of passion project, a creative director who grew up in the South, gone awry after Microsoft money. Project in poor state of development, good devs with good intentions being hamstrung by poor hires and promotions, not based on merit, and very poor community management. There are many good people there, which is always the case, man. Many such cases. My personal hope is that Compulsion Games turns this around, creates a beautiful fantasy story that they intended. They should clean up the staff and get a new community manager, which is what a bunch of companies can say for sure. Another toxic community manager, dirty effing hippie. Well, couldn't you tell by the handle? Formerly of Destiny 2, that's a woman's name, and current community manager for the new Fallout Prime series. Oh great, isn't that supposed to drop by the end of the month? April 11th. Oh wow, by the time, oh no, this is going out, okay, sorry, I'm recording this Sunday evening, this is going out on Monday, so yeah, by the end of the week, we'll be able to figure out what this wonderful person has been working on. Seems to have a very big problem with white people. Wow, big shock. It's so funny, right? Like, these these are the same people that come out of the Alyssa Mercanti tree and hit every branch on the way down, that it's okay to be racist to white people. But if you've been following Grummz, and we've been using him, shout out to him, with a lot of the coverage, he's been archiving. I mean, now this is his new go-to graphic, another community manager. Why does this keep happening? Well, there's something else that you don't point out, and that a lot of people aren't pointing out as well, that, yeah, okay, the community manager position seems to always be staffed by just incredibly woke people, insufferable scions of the DEI ideology. You never want to point out the other part of that stuff. But anyways, if I don't report fairly or omit facts, this would just be Kotaku. This really sucks. Everyone in my feed, are now looking into Helldivers community manager, which, ooh, this one sucks, because Helldivers 2 is still kicking ass when it comes to relevance in gaming right now, and it's a cultural phenomenon at this point in time. It's crazy how popular that game continues to be. Shout out to it. It's not the type of game. It's kind of like Souls-likes, where these big team-based shooters, okay, FPS is not really my thing, at least anymore. I liked Halo 2, 3, and Reach. After that, it just kind of fell off. The first wave of Call of Duty, I would just hop on and play online for a minute, but not really my thing, but more power to you. Good games, quality games with dev teams that just do good things. I want that stuff rewarded, so if you like that stuff, go play that stuff. But here we have a small chink in the armor, another community manager. So Grummz has assembled a few tweets, retweets, replies, yep, just a whole bunch of stuff that's down there of, I don't like the term casual and hardcore because they come with the implication that skill equals passion. Well, if you like something, you're going to engage with it a lot, and then by virtue of this being the medium that it is, you're going to get better by sheer association with the product. If not, then you have a learning disability, and that's a totally different issue. Those words are something gamers cling to, but they are being rendered meaningless as games become more accessible, inclusive, and experimental. So you objectively think that you cannot become good at a game because getting different types of games. Okay, and you're supposed to be the community manager of one of the most skill-based shooters out there at the moment. Okay, I'm not talking much because it's not my turn to talk. It's time for black people to be heard and for white people to listen. I want to continue to do everything I can to help, including passing the mic, which is probably great for somebody who is in charge of a community. I'm not supposed to talk in this one. I'm just here to silence opinions and people who expose my incredibly poor critiques. Oh, plus Helldivers is pretty woke, dog. What? Game was made by a lot of LGBTQ and brown and black people and women as just a big satire of jingoism. Oh, really? Oh, this is one of those idiots that also doesn't understand the real meaning of Starship Troopers, which Helldivers 2 takes a hell of a lot of inspiration from. It amuses me that they don't know that Super Earth is bad. Also explains a lot about the world at present. Oh no, she's retarded. Darn, who could have possibly seen this coming? And given who made the game, well, I don't know, they made a fun game. Who cares who they are? And that's ultimately what the other side of this equation is all about. We don't care about people's immutable characteristics. We just care about the quality of work that they put out there. It's not like you can take what developers do. Okay, you can quantify that, as opposed to community managers, which, okay, here you have the one for Ubisoft. Big shock on that one. I can tell you from internal sources at Ubisoft, this one is the most chilling DEI policed studios to work for. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It kind of also makes a lot of sense given how homogenized Ubisoft games have been for a decade and a half. Very little innovation coming out of that studio. Nightmare for a good devs just trying to make good games. Again, do not harass anybody. Exactly, man. Just catalog. This is all I would tell you. Go ahead and read through these tweets. Read through these she/her profiles. The fact that they've got, oh my god, what are those? The INFJ, one of those stupid, oh my god, here's my personality, it tells you everything about me, oh my god, I'm an introvert, oh my god, I'm such a unique person, I am, 17% of the population, nobody's quite like me, and if you understood that, then you'd finally get why I am like I am. But all of this solipsistic stuff doesn't bode well to being a competent community manager, because you're supposed to be As a community manager, your job description naturally have you looking after an entire community, not trying to foist your own opinions, your own pet projects onto other people. You're just there to maintain the health of the community, listen to their complaints, see what they're doing, okay? See if there's any foibles or follies with the games, relay those to the devs, act as a liaison between the player base and the people working on the game in order to make the best experience possible. But no. She believes her job as a community manager is to content creation across Adobe Premiere, Premiere and Photoshop, Discord engagement, moderation, helping to establish community leaders, reporting on community sentiment and feedback, reacting, engaging, replying to community via sprinkler process, provide training when and if needed within the team, writing and editing articles for publication. Yeah, it kind of sounds like something that, avid fans of a game would naturally do without having to take a salary. But no, you've done that for the upcoming Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm sure so many people are looking forward to. Oh yes, and the fart in the wind that was Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, but you could also say that about anything from the Avatar franchise. It's so strange, that franchise. Those movies have made $5 billion between two of them. Nobody talks about it at all. It's wild. They're two of the top 5 best grossing films. Or hell, it could even be better than that. 2 of the top 3 best grossing films, and nobody can say anything about them a month after viewing them. It's such a wild phenomenon, but it's perfect that Ubisoft took up that game. It's perfect that all of these community managers continue to expose themselves as being the worst ideologues employed in the video game industry. And the fact that nobody wants to point out that it's always these solipsistic bitches that are in charge of all of these, making the worst decisions possible. Nobody wants to point to that stuff. And that's why the gaming industry is in the shape that it's in, because nobody wants to say the quiet part out loud. But guess what? I will. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.